What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. The following sequence of clips is derived from a bike industry consultation that I conducted recently. I found it to have tremendous value both towards retailers and consumers alike, and I figured I would share it with you. If you find yourself getting any sort of value at all out of this following sequence of clips, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, and commenting down below. I would love to hear your opinion. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on in. And by the way, I appreciate you just watching this far. Let's get to it. I'm on a mission to disrupt the bike industry from within by creating a rider-centric and innovative brand of my own. With feedback and support from viewers like yourself, we can directly change the world of cycling. Here at Evo One, we'll go behind the scenes to broaden your understanding of the complex world of bikes and what it takes to scale a multi-million-dollar brand. I've always wished my predecessors in the industry had better documented their journeys to the top, and with this channel my hope is to not only do that, but provide a roadmap for others to follow. Welcome to Evo One. About it this way, you sold X amount of bikes over the last 2 to 3 years. How many of those customers have you picked up the phone and called and said, hey, we're offering a free bolt check and tire top off? Now, think back and keep in your mind that you have this employee or employees that have about an hour cumulatively a day of underutilized time, even though they're paid hourly to be there. So it's an hour you're just burning cash. During the day, and you turn them around and say, hey, instead, let's reach into that magic Rolodex, that entire list of customers, all the transactions we had over the last 2 to 3 years when things were really hot, and let's call them and say, hey, okay, John Smith bought a Trek Roscoe 7. He hasn't been back since. Okay, John. Ring. Hey, John. Wanted to leave you a voicemail. This is so-and-so with Fellow Barista IPA Cyclery. Wanted to let you know that we are offering a promotion where if you bring your bike in, we'll double check the bolts, we'll top your tires off, just make sure everything's safe for you next time you go out on a ride. And I also just wanted to call you and touch base and see, is the bike working out? Are you enjoying it? You know, we've had a lot of people come to the doors asking about them, and I figured I'd call one of the customers that bought one and see what your opinion is. Now you're not only reaching out to that customer and providing a really cool personal experience, but you're also saying, hey, I really want your opinion. You're the subject matter expert now. That person feels valued. Instead of trying to run some sort of ad where you're focused on a conversion rate and trying to literally take somebody and tell them, hey, you saw this ad on Facebook, I paid for you to see it, and I probably spent $9 to $12 easily to get them to see that ad. Now I want you to get in the car, put your bike on the rack, drive all the way over here, fight traffic, walk through my door, and then I'm going to try to upsell you on something. That's a much harder sell than whenever you can say, hey man, just want to have a casual conversation. By the way, we're doing something really cool. Thought you'd like to know about it. And please get back to me. That's all it is you've got to provide some sort of value to the customer, and you have to give more than you're going to ask from them. Because if you're constantly saying, hey, come in and buy this item because it's 10% off or 20% off, or there's the Trek Fest, which is every day now for whatever reason, they're not going to come in and buy something 9 times out of 10 just because you asked them. But if you can give them value and say, hey, we've got free coffee, free donuts, or we're going to top your tires off and check your bolts, it costs you nothing to run that promotion. And you have everything to gain. Versus spending on ad spend up front or buying an influencer, you've got to put that money out and hope they can convert for you, and that conversion's always lower. You will not believe the power that a photo of something messed up, or even just a video of something doing something where you can be like, hey man, this cassette is like wobbling. This is not good because this generally could cause it to lock up. This could cause something to happen. Hey man, these brake pads are super low. Here's a photo of them. You know, you can show them really, really tight in there. Or if that customer's still in store, hey, John, you got your truck back here. Do you have a second? Show them. Because if you show them and they can visually see it, it is so much easier, and it goes from this, thing where you're trying to tell them and convince them of something to now you can say, hey, here's the proof, here's the validation. They so quickly will hop that fence, turn around, come on your side and be like, yeah, man, we should fix that. And they're the ones spending the money to fix it, and they're the ones that had to approve the repair, but now they're on your side, and now they're in your corner and saying, yeah, that's true, you're right, 100%, thanks for showing me. And then you also built trust because you showed them, and you weren't just, hey, can't show you the secret sauce, can't show you how we make the pizza, it's just family recipe. Well, no, it's not. It's a bike. I've heard it so many ways phrased, But essentially, it comes down to all these DIY YouTube repair videos. People are working on their own bikes, and that's why they're not coming through the shop doors. No, they're not coming through the shop doors because you act like you're some sort of wizard or magician and you won't bring them behind the damn curtain and just show them what's wrong. It's literally that simple. I can't tell you how many times friends, family, I've been working on something for them and I've offered, hey, can we show you how to do this? And they're like, you know what? That's a little bit above my skill set. I'd love to watch you do it or, know what you're doing, but I don't want to learn myself. And most people have that mentality, and it's okay. It's okay. It's not going to cost you any money. You're not going to lose out on anything. You are using something to track customer information data and what they buy, right? So you can then send them coupons, do whatever you need to. One thing you can do in most systems is you can add notes in there about each customer. So one cool thing you could do is if a customer is, say getting something done on their bike, they tell you, hey, this weekend, Tom, Larry, and I are going to, the North Pole to ride the Candy Cane Trail, and it's going to be awesome. So thanks for working on the bike. Well, after they leave, write that in your notes with the date. Because then the next time they come in, you can say, hey, how was the Candy Cane Trail at the North Pole? Did you have fun? I mean, that's a cool experience, and they're going to value the fact that you remembered something about them. It just adds this really cool personal touch, and the hospitality industry is really, really good about this. Like, whenever you check into a hotel and they say, hey, all right, name, kind of your ID, and they're going to check you in, if it's a new hotel and it takes a couple minutes, do you really think it takes a couple minutes to go in there, punch in, boom, 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 reservation, last name? Cool. They're done. They're going through notes. That's what they do on the other side. Like, I've gone to hotels that I've stayed at before, or, whatever, a lot of usually more higher end stuff, like your resorts, and they'll be like, hey, last time, did you still want this, this, and this? That's what they're doing. That's because they have mastered the art of creating this customer experience that is personalized and tailored towards the individual. And that's really what shops need to do in order to set themselves apart from, Joe Blow down the road who just opened up and has no clue what he's doing. If you can create that really dynamic and really inclusive customer experience, I think that's really going to take it to the next level. Consider like McDonald's, for example. You can have a McDonald's on one street corner and 2 blocks away have the exact same McDonald's. Now, I can tell you there are differences between the two, and they're usually small nuances, right? Think about the drive-in. Is the drive nice? Is the pavement good? Are there lots of parking spots open? Does one of your employees have a white 80s Astros van that, kind of looks a little sketch that they park right in front of the shop that you really just don't want to park next to and then get your kids out of the back of the minivan next to? Whenever I go somewhere, I usually pull it up on Google Maps before just so I can know what the front of it looks like. Just so whenever I'm coming up to it and I'm turning the radio down so I can see better, I do weird stuff like that, I can know where I'm going. So if it doesn't have a good curb appeal, your Google Images or your Google Maps photos aren't up to date and it looks like crap, it looks like it's still under construction and it still has the name of the Chinese restaurant that your shop used to be in the photo, you're going to lose a lot of traffic. And also, have a friend or a neighbor drive up, somebody who's never been to your shop, and don't ask them, hey, what do you think of the shop? Ask them, hey, what do you think about the drive-in? How was parking? Was it good? Like, these are the little things that not a lot of people think about, but they all weigh into a decision-making process. And you would be surprised how many people just don't even consider that. They don't consider the fact that, hey, a homeless guy peed on the pillar outside in the line of shops that were set in, and it stinks. So when people get out of their car, they're like, that was a bad area. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about, whether your ceilings are stained from water damage? Like, there's so many things that just show carelessness or lack of care, and it might not even be directly a result of you or the decisions you make, but it's things that you could pay attention to and have a little bit of an eye for detail for that I think would make a lot of big differences. One thing I've always been told is a sign of a good mechanic is a clean shirt. Now, a lot of people think, well, dirty shirt, that means he's really getting in there, getting involved. No. I want the clean shirt mechanic because it means he knows what he's doing and he's precise. And he not only cares about his image, but he's going to get in your car with a clean shirt, not oil stain the sides of the seats, the center console, the wheel, and screw it up. But he's careful, he's put together, composed, and I know he's going to take care of me, and I'm going to get my car back clean. There's like 40 different brands, and they all live harmoniously on the shelf, and the customer has free range of choice. The one thing that I will push back on a little bit and say, not everyone is out to do right by the customer. Okay, there are plenty of brands out there that just sell kind of, for lack of a better expression, snake oil, where they don't really do much good. However, whenever a brand comes out and they say, hey, we want a shot, I think giving them a shot is a decision that should be weighed, because the other side is if you don't give them a shot. So think about all the direct to consumer brands that have popped up. They went direct to consumer because the good old boys club of brands who dominate the shelves and have all these different contracts and whatnot locked in, or maybe they even buy, your wife a gift card once a year on your anniversary and say, hey, take her out for dinner somewhere nice, steakhouse, it's on me. Even though it's not in writing, there's still that dynamic of, hey, don't cross me, don't let anybody else in, this is my spot, I peed here first. If that's the mentality you have, you can't be upset whenever direct-to-consumer brand or even products on Amazon come in and your customers just start buying those and they won't come into your shop because you're the one who didn't give somebody else a chance to actually even have shelf space and try the product out. And I think a lot of people get hung up on that, and then they get mad and then they start bitching about it and saying, direct-to-consumer's killing us. You're the one that drove those brands to be direct-to-consumer only because that was then their only avenue of sale. Even though they were willing to give up a little bit of margin, make less money by selling to you, they wanted to support the bike shops. And I know of brands recently who have tried that exact model. They're now shifting a lot more sales to direct to consumer, and it really sucks. Because I've even tried to cultivate those relationships with shops I know, and then they just come in and say, nah, we're good. It's a better product, yes, but at the same time, they said no. So whenever that brand starts selling direct to consumer and outselling the bike shop, and they're not getting a piece of the pie, even though they were offered a very generous portion of it, they can't be mad. They're the ones that chose not to eat. It's their fault. So that's got to be weighed into every single decision. And whenever brand alignment no longer works, you've got to know when to cut, run, and move on. If you follow the rest of what I've kind of outlined, it's the 1% of bike shops are doing all of those previously listed steps. They're going through the motions day in and day out, even though they might not see direct results instantly and have this instant gratification moment like they would if they said, hey, Johnny Come Lately came in with this battery operated piece of electronic bullshit that apparently everybody's going to buy. So this month we need to tell everybody about that, and that's all we need to focus on. So many people get hung up on that. They act like they did during 2019, 2020, and they rely on this technology and this innovation instead of actually focusing on being good at marketing, being good at building fans of the brand and building relationships. And you want that dynamic. You want people to be fans of your shop to the point at which the kids coming in and bringing their BMX bikes or whatever they have into the shop, they say, hey, mom, hey, dad, I want to ride for that shop. I want to be part of that mountain bike team. I want to join whatever mountain bike group is affiliated with that. You want to be the shop that's associated with like trail dig days or sponsoring events or just doing a hot dog cookout at whatever race is coming up. You want to be involved in that kind of stuff because you cultivate those fans. You start bringing people in, and yeah, it might not be a big return on investment short term, but long term, you're going to be the bike shop that whenever people are out riding, whether they're with their groups of friends, whatever the case is, and somebody's wearing a jersey with your name on it, that name now has a positive connotation instead of, oh, well, that bike shop, that bike shop, that bike. Like, there's no differentiation there. And you need to have that positive connotation with your name, and you need to be known for doing good things and giving, just giving to people. Whether it be your time with doing a bolt check and a tire top off, calling people up and just saying, hey, how's the bike going? or whether it be just doing something nice for your customers and not treating them like crap whenever they don't come in and don't spend a ton of money, because not everybody has a bunch of money right now to spend, and we all need to be sensitive to that. But instead, if you're just the good bike shop that does things for the right reasons 100% of the time, it will get you into that 1% of bike shops that are not only going to survive, they're going to thrive during this down economy. If there's anything that you feel like I left out or that you might have to add value the next time I find myself in a conversation like that, I would greatly appreciate it if you comment down below and let me know. Don't forget about the entire Dream Road Bike giveaway that we're doing here at Evo1 to benefit one of y'all. I think it's a pretty awesome setup. Go over to evo1industries.com. Make sure you're signed up there. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I want to take a quick moment here. We launched our waterless wash as well as our ceramic detail spray last week, and we sold out almost instantly. I have more on the way. They should be here within about 3 weeks. But I just want to take a quick second and express my gratitude not only to those of y'all who purchased, but those of y'all who have just watched the videos, liked them, shared them, subscribed to the channel, commented down below telling me I look like Zelensky. All of those little things add up, and that's how we change this bike industry. That's how we grow a brand. That's all of y'all who are doing any of that, or even just watching this at this point, are supporting that dream that I had and have wanted to start and what I'm doing right now. And I just thank you. Thank you so, so much. Genuinely, I appreciate it. As always, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.